Hi, I'm Jodie Thornton. Have you wondered what it is that you can use to motivate your child when rewards just aren't working? So rewards are something that's just kind of natural. It's something that we use as in our culture to get kids to be doing the things they're supposed to do, and also to do things that are important for their own benefit. So our rewards can look like sticker charts, can look like we can go to the park if we blah first. We can, all sorts of ways where we can basically be saying to our kids, you can have this thing that you want if you first do something that you don't want to do. And so culturally, we do this because it's important for us to basically say that whatever's going on for you that is important to you, I need you to have the skills to push that down. I need you to have the skills to be able to not pay attention to what's important to you and do what you should do. So that can look like, even just looking after yourself. So don't worry about the feelings you have about not wanting to exercise or not wanting to eat well, because you need to look after your body. So whatever's in the way of that, just ignore it. We do it for things like education. We'll give you a certificate at school if you do the homework, even though you might have very good reasons for not needing to do the home or not wanting to do the homework. We do this thing where we basically say, don't pay attention to what's going on for you and do the thing that you need to do. So our rewards, we have good intentions because we don't know how else to motivate people to do something that they don't want to do. Now, when we get stuck with rewards, we end up having one of four things happen. When they're not working for our kids, we'll have one of four things happen. The first one is that we resort to old school parenting approaches. So we do things like punishment, we do things like yelling, because we don't know what else to do. Like, we've done everything we can, the rewards aren't working, we end up reverting back. For others of us, we'll end up doubling down on the rewards. So the rewards just get bigger and better and more amazing and more wonderful, more this and more that. And so you end up kind of going, well, if you do this, then I'll buy you a new car, even though you're 10 years away from getting your license. I exaggerate, but do you know what I mean? Like, we just end up, the rewards just become so huge. And then, sometimes no matter how big the reward is, it only lasts as long as it takes them to get the reward. And then after that, it just has no impact. And then the third thing that can happen is that we end up judging our kids. So if we offer a reward and then they don't take it, we start, out of fear, going, well, I don't know what's going to happen to you, seeing as you can't even be motivated. Like, how are you going to function in society? How are you going to chase your own goals? How are you going to be able to follow the rules if you cannot even see that if you do this thing, you're going to get that good thing? And so we end up judging our kids, and some of us will end up using that outwardly. So we'll actually say things like, well, I don't know, if you don't want to do things, I can't help you. And you see how that tone just becomes there's something wrong with you. And that can sometimes be hard to hear, because even if we're kind of recognizing that and holding it in, if we think we're not communicating it, our kids just know us. They know us so well. They can tell minute changes in our body language. They can tell minute changes in the words we choose or how engaged we are with them and what's going on for them. So even those times where we feel like we're holding it in, they can tell that we're judging them. And then the last thing that can happen when rewards are just not motivating our kids is that we end up just letting go of all expectations. We go, well, if you don't want to contribute, then, it is the way it is. I give as the mother and you as the child just take, and that's just how it happens. And we rob our kids of the beauty of contributing to somebody else. And when it's something that's for themselves, we let go of the expectation that they, find a way to do this thing that would be good for them, that they would enjoy if only they tried it, or if only they learned to be consistent with it. We kind of go, do you know what? If you don't want it enough, I can't help you. And we just let go, because the first three options were not good options. So what we ended up with was, well, I just have to let go of the expectation that that's necessary. And so in all of these options, we don't end up with a solution. we don't end up with our child moving because they want to move, or we get stuck in patterns, right? You get stuck in the punishment pattern to get the result. You get stuck in the escalating rewards. So, you just have to find more money, more time, more this, more that, just to get them motivated. You can get stuck in them moving only when they can see that you're judging them, and then they're taking action only out of a space of fear of, what would my parent think of me if I don't do it? Or in the last case, we just get stuck in this place of just not getting the benefits of whatever it is that needs to happen. So that kind of felt really negative, and I wanted to share it because it's the reality of the situation. Like, so many parents will say to me, I've tried rewards and it's just not happening, and I don't know why they can't understand that they'll get the good thing if only they do the thing they don't want to do, right? And so what we end up doing is we go into, what does it take for our child to get really clear on what is the reason that they don't want to do it, and getting them to be able to address that so that they can act from a place of choosing. I'm choosing to do the thing that I should do, or choosing to do the thing that would be in my benefit. So how do we do that? So we want to start. The very first thing is that every time you're tempted to use a reward, I want you to get clear on why you're asking them to do something. So I want you to do swimming lessons because it's important for your safety. I want you to clean up your Lego because it hurts my feet when I trip over it. I want you to, I'm asking you to put your plate and cutlery into the kitchen because I'm tired and I've had so many things to do all day that I'd like to rest. And this is one that seems really simple, but there's two tricks. The first trick is that often we don't know what our reason is. So anytime you get stuck into it's your responsibility, you've missed the mark. If you're saying it's your responsibility, that basically gets into that same space of what our culture does all day, every day, which is why we get sucked into it. But we're stuck in that same space of there is a right way to behave and a wrong way to behave. And, in many cases, it can be easy to think there is a right way to behave and there is a wrong way to behave. But I tell you, the only reason a child will not choose what you think is the right way to behave is because there's something going on for them that gets in the way. And if we address that, then they're choosing to behave because of the right reasons rather than choosing the behaviour because they should, and doing that, I'm pushing down my own emotions in order to be accepted in community. So that's that first thing, is sometimes we don't know what the reason is. So when we think about it, and often the hardest ones to find are the ones that is because it's what we want. So it's like the example I gave was, I want you to put your own plate and cutlery into the sink because I'm tired and I don't want to pick up everybody's. Like that, sometimes it feels a bit confronting. It's like I'm actually saying, I want some help. And not from a place of, I have to do everything around here and no one helps me, but actually from a place of, I would really appreciate some help because I'm tired and I've had a really long day. And then, of course, they might come back to you with, well, I'm also tired. So then we need to work out what's a solution that can work for everybody, right? And so we end up in a real conversation about what's really going on. The second trick with this kind of giving them the real reason is making sure that when we ask, we're asking from an energy of this is what I need, or this is what I can see you need. So not from an energy of, if you don't learn how to clean up after yourself after dinner, like, I don't know what's going to happen to you. Like when even if we say the right words, but the energy is like, can you just do it so that I don't have to have the argument every night? That is really hard for kids to respond to. Now, I know we all do it. I still do it. It's not like you're going to be a saint and just not ever come from that energy. But the more often you can come from the cleaner energy that says, I would like you to help because it really hurts my feet when I step on the Legos. Like it hurts me. When we come from that really clean energy, then our kids can respond with what's going on with them. And the more times you've done that, the more grace you get on the days where you can't deal, on the days where you just go, that your kids will, because they've built up all this trust from the other days, they know that even though you're being imperfect today, they know that on the other times that you have communicated cleanly and clearly, they will respond to that energy because that's the pattern in your relationship. And if they don't like it, they can actually say, look, I don't like how you're speaking to me. And they can say that in different ways depending on how their age is. And that can be a check-in for you, right? So, so that really asking from a clean energy with a real reason, this is why I want you to do the thing. Once you know they've heard your real reason, if they're still saying no, the next question is, how come? So how come sometimes gets a good answer, but often it can work a lot easier if you guess the feelings and needs so that you give them the signal that you care about what they're thinking and feeling. So you say, so are you feeling frustrated about needing to clean up because it's not really fun to clean up? Are you really wanting to keep having fun? Now, it seems like an obvious thing to say, but here's the thing. When we come from this, I know you want to have fun, but blah, 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 it sounds like we don't care about the fact that they want to have fun, that they need to keep having fun. And then when they say, yes, I do need to keep having fun, or they come out with, no, it's not about fun. It's about how I always have to clean up. Just because I'm the big brother, I always have to clean up, and he never has to clean up. Then it's about fairness, right? But whatever's coming up, we get to deal with the real issue, and then we hold what is the important issue from your perspective and what is the important issue from their perspective. How do we find a solution that works for both? That's all it is, and it sounds simple and impossible all at the same time. But the more we practice, the easier it is to get clear on what we want, the easier it is to get clear on what they want, the easier it is to find a solution that works for everybody. So for me, having gone through that process of this is what we need to do, that's just the most beautiful thing in the world, to find a solution that works for everybody. And so when I hear parents tell me that their kid is just not motivated by rewards, I get excited because I'm like, yes, we're so close to getting to that place where we're actually, instead of agreeing to do things, if they kept agreeing to your rewards, you just don't even realise there's an issue, right? Like underneath, it just looks like, yeah, I just give a sticker and I give a toy and that's just what I do. All the while, they're practicing the muscle of pushing down what they want. We see as adults, when we start to look at what is it that I really want in my life? Why do I cope with terrible workplaces when I should just get a new job? Why do I accept certain behaviour from certain friends or family? Well, part of the reason is you were trained by our culture to push down what's important to you. So for me, when a kid is just going on with the rewards, you don't even recognise that there's an issue until, way down the track. But when a kid says to you, you can't break me, I'm like, yes, that's like, it gives you the chance to fix it, right? They're telling you this is not okay and I want to change it. Then we get to change it. So then the third thing I wanted to touch on, so that first thing is asking with a reason and with a great clean tone. The second thing is asking what is in the way for them. The third thing I want to leave you with is just not to get too obsessed with not using rewards. So when I work with people one-on-one, I can't even think of a single example where I've spent time with somebody trying to help them learn how to stop doing something. Because the reality is anything that we're doing that's not working will naturally fade away if we have a strategy that is working. There are conceivably some times where we might need to do the stopping behaviour, but the vast majority of times, if we just work on a path that works, the behaviour that we're not comfortable with will fall away. So don't, immediately abandon the sticker charts and don't immediately stop offering rewards or special time on the back of chores or all those things. Just let yourself build up these skills because as I say, it will fall away if you've got it right. Whereas we don't want to be just replacing one behaviour that's not awesome with another behaviour that's not awesome. If we know that this one's just falling away, then we know we've hit hit the money with the new behaviour because it's working. And the second thing is it takes pressure off. If you continue doing the things that have worked in the past and that, you know, it's not great right now, and you want to change it, but if you just let those things kind of be a holding pattern, it takes the pressure off getting it right over here. So you just practice asking, practice getting curious, practice problem solving, and it will naturally come about that, you know, things will change and shift and life will get so much easier. This is one of those spaces where life can get so easy so quickly with these new strategies. So I would love to hear in the comments, what is it that you're going to practice? So practice telling me what you're going to say to your child to say, I'm asking you to do this. This is my reason. Practice giving a real reason. I want you to practice guessing, like, what do you think is going on? If you've got a typical scenario that happens, you know, on a daily or weekly basis, what would you say is what is your guess as to why it doesn't work for them, why they don't want to do it? And what is your initial suggestion for a solution that would work for both of you? Now, I would also really love to hear if you come back and let us know how it went. If you get stuck, I want you to send me an email, jodie@jodiethornton.com. Send me an email and let me know. We will jump on a quick call. I can do 15-minute free call and you can just do a brain dump of like, this is what's happening. Based on your video, I tried this, it did not work. Or even if you kind of have watched the video and thought, I don't even know where to start, reach out, let's talk. And what I can do is I can tell you what I would recommend trying and how I might support you if you'd like to take that up. So definitely send me an email if you get stuck or you're feeling really like this is a big scary change and you'd like some support through it. Let me know. So I'm Jodie Thornton and I really appreciate you watching this video. The more intentional parents we have in this world, the amazing difference it has, not just for our kids, but the impact it has both on our kids' relationships with everybody else, but also the relationships that we have, because everything we learn in parenting translates to something in our own lives as well. So I just wanted to say, I genuine appreciation for you making a difference in this world via your intentional parenting. Thank you again.